Good morning, this is attorney Jeremy Hogan, and welcome to a Saturday morning emergency crypto edition of Legal Briefs. I did a vlog just yesterday evening and then something new came out which is so interesting that I felt the need to wake up early, drink some coffee, and share my excitement with you good people for 5 minutes. There's something happening here, but what it is ain't exactly clear. Okay, so in yesterday's vlog, I talked about how the acting chair of the SEC, Ms. Lee, had released an opinion on February 11, which is Thursday, that basically was a 180-degree change from the prior policy. The new policy from Ms. Lee basically said that the SEC would not waive any prohibitions against companies that had broken securities rules in a litigated settlement. In other words, the SEC would provide no guarantees in a settlement agreement that a company would be allowed to sell its securities in a Regulation D offering. I speculated yesterday that this meant Ripple had offered a large concession to the SEC in order to settle the case, and that was what triggered the statement from Ms. Lee. Namely, I proffered that Ripple had agreed to be regulated in its sale of XRP to the extent of filing a Reg D with the SEC and only to sell to large investors. But I also speculated that the about face in the policy statement was a rejection of that settlement agreement. In other words, SEC said no to the settlement. But not so fast. Literally, while I was videotaping yesterday's vlog, SEC Commissioners Ms. Peirce and Mr. Roisman issued their own statement, which kind of blew my mind as very abnormal. So here is the conclusion from that statement. Quote, "For the reasons stated above, we disagree with Acting Chair Lee's attempt to rescind that policy by directing the Division of Enforcement to decline to recommend contingent settlement offers to the Commission for consideration. This change marks a return to an unwieldy process that treats as completely separate what is in fact interrelated. It reintroduces an artificial separation between the process by which an entity reaches a resolution on its violations of securities laws and the process by which it obtains clarity with respect to the collateral consequences of those violations. The result will be a longer period between initiation and resolution of enforcement matters. We do not see how this outcome advances either the Commission's mission or serves the interests of investors." Close quote. I saw this and I couldn't believe what I was seeing at first last night. First, the chair of the SEC is kind of the boss, even though she's only acting chair until Gensler is confirmed by Congress and then he takes over. So the two commissioners are directly contradicting the head of the agency. Wow, it's so rare, kind of still boggles my mind now. I would point out in these hyper-political times that Ms. Lee is a Biden appointee and Ms. Peirce and Mr. Roisman are Trump appointees, I believe. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But right now there are only 4 commissioners, and I think it's definitely worth your time to listen to Commissioner Peirce describe how the Commission votes and how it operates on whether litigation is to be begun against a company like Ripple.
Yeah, I think one thing that sometimes can be a bit difficult for people from outside the agency to understand, and because every agency is different, and ours is one that's run by this commission, which is made up of 5 people, and I'm one of those 5 people. And so when we adopt a rule or when we authorize an enforcement action, we're all sitting there together and we all vote for it. And so if there are 5 people on the commission and 3 of the 5 vote for something, it will move forward.
You can watch the full interview on Forekast News YouTube channel, really good channel. So that is how the commencement of litigation is begun, by a majority vote. But I cannot find a corresponding rule on whether a vote is required for a settlement. At first I thought it would be required, and maybe before 2010 it would have been required, but in 2010 it seems like all executive functions of the SEC were placed with the power of the chair, in this case Ms. Lee. Look down at Reorg Plan 10, quote, "Reorg Plan 10 formally transferred from the full commission to the SEC chair responsibility for all executive and administrative functions," close quote. So the big question is, what does this mean for the Ripple lawsuit? And for me, the question is, what could be such a big deal that really the subordinates of the SEC chair felt compelled to release a statement directly contradicting their boss the day after the SEC chair released her position statement? To me, this just solidifies my thought, really my speculation from yesterday, that there was an offer of settlement from Ripple to the SEC. There are no other issues out there big enough to cause two SEC commissioners to feel the necessity to contradict the chair's position on this. And I will tell you that Ms. Peirce, who I've been listening to and reading about recently, and you just saw being interviewed, she understands the crypto world. And I would say she is a proponent of crypto, and she understands how important it is to our country for this new world economic currency to be here and not in Japan or some other country. So it makes complete sense to me that she would put her neck out on the line in order to try and make this settlement happen. But the bottom line is that I believe the power to set this guidance is with the chair, Ms. Lee. And if what is happening is what I think is happening, it's Ms. Lee that would kind of be gumming it up. But the fact that Peirce and Roisman feel so strongly about this issue that they would release a counterstatement the day after suggests the issue is not over, and they would be fighting to get the settlement to happen within the confines of the SEC's internal policies and politics. And the issue is not over because Ms. Lee will only be head of the SEC until Mr. Gensler is confirmed as the new head of the SEC. Now, after that happens, he will then make the decision. And when will he be confirmed? He's not even scheduled to be voted on yet that I'm aware of, because Congress has been a little busy with, insurrections and impeachments and that type of thing. So, but once he is confirmed, this decision will be squarely in his lap. And although Gensler is not a deregulationist by any stretch of the imagination, he is a crypto guy, and he is not going to want to see Ripple leave to Japan. Now, this is just my opinion, and it's as good as yours, but I believe that Gensler will approve the settlement that I believe Ripple offered as the SEC. So what I am seeing in these statements is kind of a public airing of grievances of an issue central to the behind-the-scenes negotiations that I think are going on with Ripple and the SEC currently. A settlement that would be good enough for Ripple and great for us as owners of XRP. As you may recall, my previous thought was that the Ripple case was likely to settle towards the end of the year, maybe in October or November at mediation, and I now have a new opinion. I would suggest that we see a settlement either before the 22nd, which is the pretrial conference, or shortly after Gensler's confirmation. I no longer believe the most likely outcome here is that this case goes to the end of the year. The main reason I sense this is not because I trust in Gensler so much as because I sense that Ripple is conceding more than I had previously imagined, and therefore I feel that the sides have come so much closer to an agreement than I imagined would be possible before really on Ripple's behalf. So everyone keep your eyes down, your ears open. I sense that something is in the air, my friends. But most importantly, happy Valentine's Day to my beautiful wife, the wind beneath my wings, and also the person behind the camera right now. From here, we are going out for a little picnic without the kids, a little romantic time. Remember, guys, do something special for that special lady in your life, and happy Valentine's Day.